yeah, spend some time and learn the basics of Chinese, at least to be able to communicate, express yourself, your products, at least your company, what you're doing, what you want to sell, or what you want to buy. So this, gets you much closer to your potential suppliers and potential clients, and you get better deals, and you avoid potential mistakes, definitely.
Five, four, three, two, one.
So for those entrepreneurs who would like to venture into the Chinese market, what do you think are the areas that they should be mindful of? Yeah.
Well, there are a lot of things to be mindful of. I would say definitely culture and language, first of all. If, for example, just like myself, when you are coming to China first time and you don't speak any Chinese, probably it would be better to learn. This is one of my mistakes, probably. I didn't do that before coming here. Yeah, spend some time and learn the basics of Chinese, at least to be able to communicate, express yourself, your products, at least your company, what you're doing, what you want to sell, or what you want to buy. So this, gets you much closer to your potential suppliers and potential clients, and you get better deals, and you avoid potential mistakes, definitely.
Yeah.
And another thing to be really mindful is, just like we talked about, earlier, that's making connections.
Yes.
Because in the beginning, for example, I didn't really myself, pay attention to that aspect. But later on, I started realizing that yes, in order to succeed in this very extremely competitive market, you need to have strong connections. So as soon as you land here as a foreign entrepreneur, I would recommend you start looking for events, some sort of meetups, or join some chambers. Try to make connections as soon as possible, so people know about yourself and your company.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, a few things, to be mindful of.
Yes, yes. But some entrepreneurs, they still think it's okay. I don't speak Chinese, right? I live in Shanghai. Let's say live in Shanghai, but I can have interpreters translate for me.
Yeah. Well,
People
of course. I mean, there's always a way like that.
Yeah.
You can always hire an entrepreneur, but I mean, translator as an entrepreneur, you don't want
Yeah.
to be. Maybe some people don't want to spend a lot of time and energy learning a new language, but still, for example, just to bring, example from ultra successful people like,
Yes.
founder of Facebook. You know,
Yeah, he's learning
he
Chinese.
mentioned, yeah, he learned Chinese and probably is still learning Chinese. And he mentioned in his speeches, for example, if he went back in time, probably learned Chinese much earlier, because China is one of those markets, one of those countries that you can't just get by with your English. It doesn't happen. For example, in Europe, a lot of countries there, in many countries, if you start a business, you don't have to really learn the local language, because English has a huge influence
Yeah.
in those countries. But in Asian countries, including China, for example, or South Korea, I would say, or Japan, these are like the countries you have to be very mindful of the language and the culture. Otherwise, you will miss out a lot of opportunities. And there are some things that are lost in translation as well.
Yeah.
Like probably the translator you hire is not able to actually deliver the message or convey the message. Yes.
Yes, yes. Because of the unique culture of China, sometimes the interpreters and translators are not able to translate the culture behind it. And sometimes they are not business owners. And for Chinese people, we express our thoughts very implicit. We don't express very direct like the Western entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly.
They are not able to translate the meaning behind it because they are not business owners. They don't get it, so they cannot translate to you. So if you can really, let's say, overseas entrepreneurs, you want to enter the Chinese market, it's really a need
Yeah.
us to speak in Chinese because it's
Yeah, exactly. That's always
Right.
recommended. Just like you said, one of the important thing is, when the, interpreter hired for money, they don't have any stake in the business, right? They don't have anything to lose. If anything goes wrong, they don't really care in practice. So that's why it's better to actually, at least, we're not saying that you need to be proficient, you need to be fluent. But at least you have to try. You have to try to get the grasp of the basics.
That's right. That's right. Let's say if they don't speak very good Chinese, but your potential Chinese business partner, he's seeing you are trying hard to communicate
Exactly.
with him, and
Yeah.
you can start really establish a very strong rapport with him, right?
Exactly.
Because you see you
Exactly.
are trying hard to communicate with him. That shows
Yeah.
that you are sincere, right? You are trying hard.
Committed. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I believe it's an attitude, right? It shows your
Exactly.
attitude
Exactly.
yeah.
And mhm. And yeah, actually, to tell you the truth, like my first shock about this language aspect came immediately at the Beijing airport. Because I probably wrongfully assumed that, just like I mentioned earlier, I could get by, using English. But then I realized that no, that's not the case here. You have to be able to communicate. Well, there are some stuff at the airport they speak, but right after the airport, there's a taxi you have to catch.
Yeah, that's
Well,
right.
yeah, I just caught a taxi and then tried to speak to him in English. He say, "What, Shama? I don't understand you." So yeah, and then that's when I realized, then yeah, you need to speak Chinese.
That's right. So far, Jasur and I are working on a book about business Chinese, and you will learn the corporate language in Chinese, Chinese business etiquette, and how do Chinese people think. And it will definitely help you to have a wild success in China. And to grab the book, you can click the link in description below and scan the QR code on the left side. Maybe you have been following me for quite some time now. You've been watching my videos for a period of time. I want to hear from you how my work has impacted your life and your Chinese learning process. I want you to comment below and share with me your story, because that's what gives me the drive, the motivation to create more, to inspire more. I do read every single one of your comments, so I look forward to reading your story.